Welcome, this is Life Prepper here, World of Joan, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make a tincture. Now, the real simple one is the water tincture. And you get whatever plants you want, whatever herbs you want to put in, and you put it in here. And if it's dry, you kind of wait for it to float to the top. You always leave about a half an inch, and then for about a week, you just kind of shake it up. But always after we do it, make sure you filter it to get the plant matter and things out. I put some plantain in this one and some grape leaves. That's a antibacterial. The grape leaves is also an antibacterial situation, anti-inflammatory. So it has many benefits to be able to clean wounds and things with. And you can, make it into a tea. This here usually takes about a week. You can just put it up somewhere in a shelf and kind of in a cool place, a dark place, or you can put it in your refrigerator if you so desire. If you want to speed the process up, you can set it in the sun. Now, another one is using the alcohol. Now, a lot of people use this vodka, and they say use between 80% to 120%. So, I've actually I make my own, and there's a reason for that because it was just too doggone expensive trying to buy the 80 and 120 proof. So I made my own. But what I also did use was apple juice. Now, in the bottom of this here is the settlement from where I've made it. So all you simply do with this is you take whatever herbs and make sure it's about halfway on your herbs because as it soaks, it's going to absorb it. It's going to fill it up. So always leave like a half an inch. And then, first week, just kind of shake it up, take the lid off, stir it up a little bit. And make sure you put a date on it and what plants you have put in here. So, there you go right there. And I probably got a little bit more than, I got about maybe a good inch right there. So that's good. You can see here how some of it's already floated to the top. Just take your little fork here and kind of push it around in there or a spoon or whatever it is you choose to do. Put your lid on it. And put a date on it, put what's in it, shake it up some. And then this takes about 2 months to get ready. Now, if you want to do a tincture in a little bit more of a hurry thing, I've got this little container here. And you don't have to go buy all mason jars. You can find jars and things everywhere. Now this one here was roughly a little over a cup and a half. It's here's an infusion. It's just like making a cup of tea. The only difference is when you're fixing it on your stove, you're not just fixing for 1 bag of tea. So you're doing like 3 bags of tea. So you're making a very strong infusion. You can see how thick this is. This has a combination of things because I added some cinnamon and I added some sugar beets in to cook with this in here because sugar beets is a natural sugar, so it'll give a little flavor. And I add some ginger in it, and that's also helping. Everything I put in is plant here. Everything I put in here is a health benefit. So, I filtered it out, and there's still a few, unfortunately, little particles of plants in there, but that's okay. And you just simply pour it in there, just as I've done right here, and then you measure out, a cup and a half on it. You try to have equal parts, and you have a little bit more, if you don't really want it that strong. So, just pour it in there. It's real simple. Actuality, you know what? I probably didn't even really need the whole cup and a half. Yeah, I did. There we go. So, that tincture is made and ready to go. I want to just set it aside. I'll let it set together for a few days, maybe a couple of days. So, but you know what? If I want to, I can go ahead and put this in a little eyedropper bottle right now or whatever I choose to because this here will be ready to go. So this here is already made, so I don't have to wait 2 months. So again, there's 3 simple things you do. You can do the water tincture, and I say shake it up some. It takes about a week for it to infuse together. Make sure when you drain it, you filter it out really well. Then you can do just the one with the alcohol. They recommend to use between 80% to 120 proof. They say to use vodka, but you know what? I believe you can use kind of anything you want to use when it's just for your own use because it's the basis on the alcohol is what they're looking for. Because this here, all this herbs and everything will soak up a lot of this alcohol and stuff. And so if you put in 80 proof in here, it's going to be reduced down to 40 proof because all this is going to be soaked up in it. So let's say this here about 2 months will be ready to go, and I can filter it out. And then I can just take my leftover matter and throw it out into the yard for my plants and stuff and my fertilizer. And then again, I say you can just simply go ahead and do an infusion and fix it up on the stove. But what I recommend to do when you do that, make sure you have a container with a lid on it, because you want to try to get as much of that steam. You want to get as much of that go right back into it. Because if you turn around and take the lid off and just do it with it, you're going to be losing a lot of the nutrients and stuff in it. So you do want to keep the lid on it. And you want to let it reach a good boil. Cut it off a while. Let it cool down. And then you can reach another boil again. And I did it about 3 times to get this good overall boil, because I wanted to get all the nutrients out of it. And I wanted to get it rather concentrated, as you can see right here. As you can see right here. This here is very concentrated. And it's just a combination of different herbs that I've mixed together. And I will put them in my little eyedropper bottle so I can take them with me when I go somewhere. And with the winter months coming on, there's plants in here that is going to help me get through the winter months without having to spend so much money. Because, you know, that homemade cough syrup that I make, I take that. And I can tell the difference in my hacking and my coughing and when I'm feeling crappy. So, you know what? Getting away from the stores, we need to some. We do depend on the stores. There's nothing wrong going to stores and getting things. But if you can make some of your own stuff, and like I say, respect nature. Nature may just respect you back. And research and read and learn. It is time we get back to basics a lot more, because you know what? The cost of living is going up more every day. So here I have 3 simple tinctures, like I said. This and here's the one with the alcohol in it. It takes about 2 months. The water tincture takes about a week or so. You can do your infusion ones, like I said. Put it in a container. Put the lid with the lid on it. I would let it reach to a boil about 3 different times and cool down, because I want to get as much of the nutrients and benefits out of it. So real simple, real easy. You can't go wrong with this. So you know what? If you're just tired of going to the stores and paying high price for all these medicines, start thinking outside the box. Because if shtf does happen, and it can happen in small amounts, we've already seen where the waters got contaminated. We've already seen where there's earthquakes and hurricanes, and this has been going on since the beginning of time. The vantage point is most of our ancestors had knowledge of the land, and they knew what to do. Not everybody did. As people got more and more used to living in the concrete jungles and got more and more used to living, going to the stores and stuff and depending on the doctors for all the medications, as we got more and more using medications that was created out of the labs that was synthesized. They work quick, they work fast, but you hear the countless side effects to it. And I take medication and I have health issues I have to deal with every day. But I guarantee you, this here is keeping me going, because that's what the doctor told me when he replaced my right knee. He said that was 2 marbles rubbing together, and he don't know how I was able to walk. I had a choice. I could have been in a brace the rest of my life, or I could have had that leg replaced, and I chose to have it replaced. And he told me it must be all those herbs that I've been taking all these years that kept me going. So, Life Prepper here, the World of Joan, 3 simple techniques. Join me on my channel, tell people about me, and subscribe. Because you know what? I want to get out there and reach people. And I want to learn with you. And I want to enjoy life with you. Let's enjoy nature. Let's respect nature. Let's think outside the box. So, what's my motto? Be safe. Be happy. Bless all you fine folks. And come and see me again.